All right, if you're a kayaker, a wannabe kayaker like me, and you're looking for some cool accessories, specifically for an inflatable kayak, hopefully this video can help you out. All right, here is my setup. I've got a convertible advanced elements inflatable kayak here that I take the family out on regularly. Got 2 small kiddos, and we can load this baby up. It's got like 500 pounds max or something. So this is kind of the typical setup. You know, a couple of oars, and that's it. Got my backpack and whatnot. But I was really looking to beef this thing up, you know, while I'm out here on the water with, you know, some various accessories. So this video, I'm going to give you some ideas on what you can do, and hopefully this will help you. So here we've got a lot of different options. We've got a fish finder, we've got a cup holder, we've got a rod holder. We have this bar. This is a 1-inch bar, a frame system that I installed on my Advanced Elements kayak like this. I made a separate video on how I did that if you're interested. So this bar basically comes off each time you deflate the kayak, and when you inflate the kayak, you can put this bar on and mount your cool accessories to it. So it's kind of like this command center, if you will. So the first cool accessory that I have that I found is an adjustable umbrella. So those hot days out there, this thing is compact, portable, and won't cover both, you know, the entire length of the kayak. It's not irregularly shaped or anything like that, but it'll cover me, right? And it mounts. The coolest feature, it has this adjustable mount piece that can mount to a bar like on the side of your kayak, or in this case, this frame system that I have right up front. And it's super secure. Obviously, we're blocking the camera here with it installed. And get a better angle. There we go. So no tools are needed. You just kind of clip it on, and then you tighten up the little knob, the clamp there, and it holds it in place. Obviously, if it's too loose, it'll slide down, but if you crank it pretty tight, it will secure very well. And it also rotates in a variety of directions, so you can really adjust it custom to wherever the sun might be. Now, obviously, if you've got your oars and you're paddling with this thing up, that could be, you know, depending on where it's at, it could be an encumbrance to your rowing. But this is kind of what it looks like. And if you got your oars there, you know, I think that's pretty good. That'll be just fine and quite nice, actually. Because I've been out on some really, really uncomfortably hot days. That sun is beating down. You got your sunscreen and whatnot, but an umbrella could be an extra nice accessory to have. This is what it looks like from the underside. And for the price point, definitely a recommendation. And by the way, it stores nicely, just like that when it's not in use. And one last comment, it also folds and inserts nicely when you fold this inflatable kayak up to put it back in the bag. You can put it in the actual bag. Yeah, it's that compact. So, okay, so the next accessory I don't actually own because it's frankly a little too expensive, but check out the floor. Look how soft it is. This is the standard floor that came with this particular kayak. And a drop stitch floor is the second recommended accessory, because if you look online, it's got great reviews, and I'm going to be buying that pretty soon. I'm just saving up enough money here. But what that does is allows the floor to be ultra rigid and ultra hard, and it's going to create less drag and when you're actually moving the kayak through the water, because this thing is squishier, it's softer, it's pretty durable. But that is the number 2 recommendation, a drop stitch floor. The next recommendation is a DIY anchor. So I've got my frame system here. Let me pop that in, and look what I've got installed, this little black dog leash. Yeah, that's a dog leash. It's retractable, and it sits just like that, and you can put an anchor on the end of it. So moving on, the next accessory is more one of super logistical convenience, and that is an electric air pump. If you're watching this video to this point, you quite possibly have an inflatable kayak like me. And this is, without doubt, one of the best accessories that I own, because it does most of the work for you. It won't do all of the work. You'd still need that manual pump to top things off, because there's basically not enough pressure to finish that recommended PSI. But boy, it really gets 90% of the job done. It's battery powered, rechargeable, and then you top it off with your manual pump. The next recommended accessory is a little GoPro. Now, I'm not recommending spending $400 on a GoPro. So the system that I have actually only costs about $45. And of course, I'll put links down below for all this stuff. But it's got 4K capability and shoots up to 60 frames a second. But I shoot in 1080, but it mounts nicely and gives a great image. And it's got a waterproof case too, where you can take it off the mount and actually put it under the water to get some underwater shots if you're so inclined to do that. So here's some real footage of a recent trip that I took. Water's a little murky, but you get the idea, and you can actually take it off as well and go down, you know, water slides, fully waterproof, high definition camera that picks up fast movement pretty well. The next recommended accessory for the kayak is a fish mount that again has that mounting piece to a 1-inch bar or less, and it's really simple. You attach the mounting bracket, and there's 4 screws provided, and you tighten those up with a screwdriver, and the mounting bracket stays on, and the actual fishing pole container or the holder actually removes. It just pops in and out. So as long as that bracket is straight up north and south, it's going to fit nicely in there and hold a pole. So that's pretty neat. And it allows you to swivel back and forth like that. How cool is that? Now the next one is a container, a little cup holder for your water bottle. Here it is. Again, it attaches to that bar, 1-inch mount, and it's pretty secure, pretty snug. It does move laterally a little bit, but get that bracket nice and snug and it should be an awesome setup for the kayak. And the last one that we're going to be looking at, the last accessory here, is a fish finder. Now this is there's lots of fish finders out there on the market. I decided to go with this one because price point was amazing and it had pretty good reviews. I'm not going to say it was 4.5 stars, but it was 4 stars at the time of purchasing this on Amazon. This is the brand, and I decided to go with this one because of its portability, and it uses batteries, so it didn't require an external power source, you know, like hooking up to an actual 12-volt battery or something like that. So it's really simple to use. Let me show you around really quickly if you are interested. I do wish it had a rechargeable battery, but in any case, it depending on how you use it, it's got an LED backlight. If you have that on all the time, obviously you're going to chew through battery power a little faster. But let's boot this up. Here it is, brand new, right out of the box. Now I'm going to do a full review on this. You can search my channel, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but it powers on, and you can basically cycle through a lot of the different functions. You can turn the sound on and off. You can set the backlight, the LED backlight, to turn off automatically after a certain period of time. Now, as far as the sonar device, so it's got this ultra long cord, and it connects just like this. And the sonar piece has a little floater on it, so it kind of acts like a bobber on a fishing pole, right? So the idea is that you can set the depth, and there's a minimum requirement there, but you set the depth so it floats. So you can literally throw it overboard. You could have it up, next to you. You could mount it if you have a kayak that's, a hard kayak, hard plastic. You could mount that to the hull somewhere. But for me, I'm going to be using this. I'm not mounting it, the actual sonar piece anyway. I'm going to literally throw it over the kayak to determine my depth and to find any fish that may be swimming under there. So that required, in order to mount it to the 1-inch bracket here, or the 1-inch bar, a 1-inch bracket. So I went online and found kind of a jimmy rigged setup, but it totally works. It's actually for bikes or motorcycles that carry your phone. But the problem is this fish finder is a little thicker than a phone, right? So I had to use some Velcro and a rubber band to just kind of hold it while it's on there. But it's still pretty snug, very snug actually, with the rubber band and Velcro on there. So here it is. Just kind of throwing it out here for you, and you can see it's giving the reading for the depth, 3.2 feet at this point. Pretty shallow body of water that I happen to be on. And in my review, I measure this a little more. I go into depth as to how accurate this is. So again, you can search my channel there, but you can see it's picking up fish just fine. And with that, we'll go ahead and stop the video there. Those are the recommended accessories for my kayak and my setup, making life out here on the water a little more fun and pleasant and enjoyable. So happy kayaking to you. Hopefully this video has helped you out. Thanks so much.